Yeah, it's almost a contradiction that it should be hard work to be happy, because we're
Yeah.
given this illusion that you should just sit on the couch and happiness should come to you, and that other people are getting effortless happiness. But if you think of it as the hard work of carving a new trail rather
Hmm.
than following the road that's
Yeah.
already there and following the road that everyone else is taking.
Yep. You're 100% right. And you said something about a new path, and I thought about the Happy Brain book, because like I know when it said you want to create a new path and you want to have a paradigm shift, it took like what 90 days you said, right?
I said
I believe
45, but it could be anything.
45 days. Yeah, yeah. 45. I said 90. 45 days. That helped me out a lot too.
To not
Yep.
expect it immediately.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So when I say that there's negativity around us, so that happens both in words and in actions. So the
Gotcha.
words can be negative thought habits, sometimes people putting themselves down, sometimes putting other people down, sometimes putting the whole world down. And then negative behaviors are things that maybe make you feel good for a moment, but then feel bad in the long run, make you feel
Gotcha.
worse in the long run.
And that's that word you said. What is it called? Am I pronouncing the word right? Is it cynical?
Yes.
Did I pronounce it right?
So
Yeah.
cynical and cynicism. So I call it that because I'll give you the background facts about this. When I first wrote the book, it was called Beyond Cynical. And I used the word cynical because everyone around me had these negative ideas that the world is bad, society is bad, everything's hopeless. And they seem to be happy about their cynicism. Like,
Gotcha.
because it makes you cool, it makes you sophisticated. And it really, in the book, I explain it stimulates your dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Because when you're cynical, you put yourself above other people. Like, I really know, and then dopamine, it helps you predict. Dopamine is about predicting, and you say, everything's going bad. And that's a prediction. And you feel like, now I know what's going on. And oxytocin, it makes you in the club, because when you think everything's bad, now you're in the club. But now you have to feel bad all the time in order to be in the club.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question on your book. What is called political correctness, right? You said something about I believe you said about social power, I believe, and you said in order to fill it, you got to go through the gatekeepers. You know what I'm talking about? I think I got the note. You said something about social support status. You got controlled by the gatekeepers, and I was surprised you said that, because like I do music. And it's like trying to get into the music industry and chasing fame, I have to go through the gatekeepers. So at what age did you realize that, or what did you experience that made you realize that about the gatekeepers? I was surprised that you said that. I was like, whoa.
Well, I think to finish the thought, though, is that I realized that the gatekeepers don't have as much power as you think. So when you're young, you have no power, and gatekeepers control everything. A kid can't eat candy without permission. They can't have dinner without permission, right? So everything is controlled by a gatekeeper. And in school, maybe it's good to have a gatekeeper, because you won't learn that 2 + 2 = 4 unless you have a teacher that helps you find the right answer, rather than the current philosophy of, it should be all creative, But then when you are in your 20s and you dream big, and, in your teen years, you start to have big dreams, and you feel good when you have big dreams, and you take a step and you think, oh, this is great. But then you realize that you're not getting to the top of the mountain. And why? And it seems like the gatekeepers are the ones in your way.
It'll make you feel delusional.
And on the one hand, that's good. But on the other hand, everyone in the world is not going to be either a famous musician or a famous athlete or a famous politician or a famous writer. So the whole idea that you have to be famous to be happy is something that's sort of natural for a young person. Now, if we think about in the past, most people lived in a small group. And so they wanted to be a big deal in their small group. So everyone in the group, like if there was a group of 150 people in your tribe, and everyone dreamed of being at the top of their tribe. And needless to say, not everyone made it. Okay. Gotcha. And this is what I've learned from monkeys. Every monkey strives to rise up in the hierarchy of their troop. So if you think that I have to be unhappy forever if I can't be at the top, and if I do get to be at the top, I will be happy forever, both of those are an illusion. And
I learned that from your book. I believe the Mammal book said that, okay, if you want this goal so bad and you accomplish it, your dopamine, okay, is gonna droop because you just accomplished that goal. Now you want something new.
Exactly. First, when you get it, you think, I will be happy forever if I get to this level. But as soon as you get there, then your brain looks for the next level. It doesn't make you happy forever from that level. So the message of Mammal is expanded in my new book, Status Games. I'll send it to you, or I'll bring it to you if I have another chance to go there. I'm hoping. And the idea that you can be happy without status, but I'm not saying to give up either, but is to break it into small pieces and enjoy each step and find out, how can I keep taking steps and enjoy the steps? But you won't do that if you spend your life being angry at gatekeepers.
Yeah, I was. And I'm talking like 20 years. Like 20 years just angry at the gatekeepers.
Yes. And I have to say, I was very similar because I was writing books and no one was publishing them. And then I learned how to self-publish, but no one was reading my books. And
how you know no one was reading it?
How did I know no one was? Oh, thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's true because, well, you know, in the beginning you could say because I knew how many books were sold. But yes, but I actually did not look at the numbers. So because I learned one of the steps I learned was from James Altucher wrote a book called Choose Yourself. So instead of waiting for the gatekeepers to choose you, that you have to choose yourself. So that was one way I did it. And another was I found like some famous scientists whose work was ignored when they were alive. But then after they died, everybody loved their work and it helped everyone. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice if that person knew that people would like their work while they were still alive? So I thought, why don't I just imagine that people will like my work someday? And how would I act now if I felt that my work was already accepted, instead of focusing in my brain on the rejection that I'm imagining? And I understood that the reason I focused on rejection was because I got a lot of rejection when I was young. So it was a real pathway in my brain, and I was just focusing on that.
Got you. I understand. Oh.
So if you wanted a future in some creative activity, so first you find some other way to pay the bills and get enough money to survive. And then you take whatever other time you have and you make small steps toward it, and you enjoy the steps. And you say, how can I define steps that will feel good instead of spending my whole life chasing some celebrity and hoping they will give me attention? Because that's sort of like a child hoping their parents will give them attention and respect, and like a high school kid hoping to get recognition from the person they like. And that's a natural habit, but it makes us miserable.
Yeah, seeking someone else's validation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me